The first time the young recruit reached out to pet the military dog, the entire room seemed to tighten. The dog did not bark. He did not lunge. He didn't even move at first. He simply froze, his ears angled forward, his body stiffened, and his eyes locked onto the stranger's hand. What looked like calm silence to an untrained eye was, in reality, a storm of calculation. Within seconds, the handler gave a quiet command, and the dog stepped slightly forward not to attack, but to block. The recruit pulled his hand back, confused. The dog had already made a decision. Military K9 South are not ordinary dogs reacting out of emotion. They are conditioned observers. Before they ever deploy alongside soldiers, they undergo months of structured exposure, stress conditioning, and behavioral reinforcement. They are taught that new people are variables, not friends. Every unfamiliar face must be evaluated. Every movement must be interpreted. Trust is not given freely. It is earned through patterns. When a military K9 encounters someone new, the first reaction is rarely dramatic. Instead, it is controlled assessment. The dog scans posture, breathing rhythm, eye contact, muscle tension, and even scent changes caused by adrenaline. Humans often rely on facial expressions to judge character, but dogs rely on physiology. A slight shift in weight, a stiff arm, or forced eye contact can communicate more to a trained dog than a smile ever could. This is where contrast becomes clear. A civilian dog might wag its tail at a stranger who uses a friendly tone. A military K9 is the opposite. Tone alone means nothing. The dog has been trained to separate friendliness from safety. A cheerful voice paired with rigid posture raises suspicion. A calm, neutral presence lowers it. The difference is discipline. Military dogs are conditioned to override instinctive friendliness in favor of structured evaluation. In real-life encounters on bases and training facilities, handlers often observe 3 stages of reaction. First is alert stillness. The dog suddenly positions its body between the handler and the unfamiliar person. This is not aggression. It is protection protocol. Second is controlled engagement. If the stranger continues to approach, the dog may step forward slightly, making eye contact and waiting for direction. Third is resolution. Either the handler signals safety and the dog relaxes instantly, or the dog shifts into defensive readiness if cues suggest potential threat. What makes these reactions remarkable is how quickly they reverse. Once the handler confirms safety, the same dog that appeared guarded can sit calmly beside the stranger within seconds. This rapid transition is not confusion, it is proof of training depth. The dog's loyalty is anchored in command structure, not personal emotion, unlike civilian dogs, which may hold on to fear or excitement. Military K9 South are conditioned to reset immediately when instructed. Many misunderstand this behavior as coldness. They assume the dog lacks warmth. In truth, the opposite is happening. The dog's bond with its handler is so strong that every new interaction is filtered through that relationship. Protection becomes priority. Emotional impulses are secondary. This is why military handlers emphasize neutrality when introducing their dogs to new people. Sudden movements, exaggerated enthusiasm, or attempts to dominate space can trigger evaluation mode. Another powerful lesson from real encounters is how dogs respond to human nervousness. Studies in canine behavior show that dogs can detect hormonal changes through scent. A military K9, trained to recognize stress under operational conditions, may interpret heightened anxiety as a potential instability. That does not mean anxious individuals are threats, but the dog will pay closer attention. The evaluation becomes more intense. Contrast this with everyday assumptions. Many people believe dogs judge based on morality or instinctive good versus bad intuition. Military K9 reactions reveal something more precise. They respond to patterns and consistency. A calm, steady individual who respects boundaries will often receive quicker acceptance than someone overly eager to prove friendliness. Confidence without aggression reads as safe. Forced affection reads as unpredictable. Real-life handlers often share that the most successful introductions happen when the new person ignores the dog completely at first. By reducing social pressure, the dog is allowed to observe without escalation. Over time, once the handler signals approval, the dog may initiate contact itself. That moment is significant. It demonstrates that safety has been confirmed through observation rather than assumption. These encounters teach a broader lesson about discipline and perception. Military K9s operate in environments where hesitation can be dangerous and impulsivity can be catastrophic. Their training balances vigilance with restraint. They do not react because they feel like it. They react because patterns demand it. When no threat is detected, they conserve energy. When irregularity appears, they heighten awareness. Everything is structured. Perhaps the most striking aspect is how deeply they trust their handlers. In situations where the handler remains calm, the dog mirrors that composure. If the handler tenses or shifts posture subtly, the dog adjusts immediately. This synchronization is built over thousands of repetitions. It creates a feedback loop of mutual awareness. New people entering that space are evaluated not only individually, but in relation to the handler's signals. For civilians observing this behavior, the lesson is powerful. Respect boundaries. Move with calm intention. Allow trust to form gradually. Military K9 South remind us that safety is not about dramatic reactions. It is about disciplined observation. Their stillness is not emptiness. It is awareness. Their hesitation is not fear. It is calculation. In the end, the recruit who tried to pet the dog learned something important. The dog was not rejecting him. He was protecting his partner. Once the handler nodded and gave permission, the dog relaxed and allowed the interaction. The shift was instant. Tension dissolved. Trust was granted. A military K9's reaction to new people is never random. It is a reflection of training, loyalty, and structured judgment. And in that quiet moment before movement, the dog teaches a lesson many humans overlook. Observe first, react second, and let trust be built on consistency rather than assumption.